This is Ivar the Boneless, not just a Viking, a shadow in the shape of a man, a name that made kings tremble and armies hesitate. He didn't conquer with numbers, he conquered with fear. Here are 10 savage facts that prove he wasn't born to survive. He was born to dominate. Number 1. He was born with a curse. They said he was doomed from the first breath, crippled, legs twisted, bones like jelly. To the Vikings, that was weakness, and weakness was death. But Ivar didn't die. He didn't kneel. He rose. He wasn't trained like other boys. He wasn't allowed to be. He trained in silence, in fury, in fire, mocked, underestimated but never broken. He turned shame into power and forged a will the gods themselves couldn't crack. One day, those who mocked him would kneel. Number 2, he turned battlefields into chessboards. Ivar wasn't built for brute force, so he built something else, mastery. He studied movement, terrain, mines. At York, he faked retreat, let the Saxons celebrate, then tore them apart the moment they dropped their guard. To fight Ivar wasn't a battle, it was a trap. One you didn't see until your army was already bleeding. He didn't win by strength, he won by outthinking everyone. Number 3, he unleashed the great heathen army. When Ragnar died, thrown into a pit of snakes by King Ella, the world expected mourning. Instead, it got fire. Ivar crossed the sea not with a raiding party, but with an army. A massive, organized, legendary force, the Great Heathen Army. It swept through England like judgment. No castle could hold, no crown could sleep. Ivar didn't come to raid, he came to conquer, and kingdoms crumbled in his path. Number 4, he performed the Blood Eagle. Ella thought he'd killed a legend. Ivar made him the lesson. He captured the king, and didn't just kill him, he carved a message into him. The Blood Eagle, ribs split from the spine, lungs pulled out like wings, all while still alive. It was a ritual so brutal many thought it myth. But when Ivar did it, it was history, not revenge, a warning. Cross Ivar and die screaming. Number 5, his name alone broke spirits. Ivar the Boneless. It sounded like an insult until you heard it on the battlefield, until it arrived before his army did. Some said it meant he was limp, others that he moved like smoke, impossible to strike. But to his enemies it meant only one thing: you were already dead. His name preceded him, his name outlasted him. His name did most of the killing before the first axe was ever raised. Number 6, he weaponized fear. Ivar knew the mind cracked long before the body did, so he used fear like a sword. Whispers said he drank blood, that he skinned men alive, that he cursed the ground he walked on. Villages surrendered before his ships touched shore. Armies deserted before the horns blew. He didn't always need to fight, because fear did the work for him. Mini Bridge. To face Ivar wasn't war, it was prophecy. Number 7, he ruled like a war god. Dublin, York, parts of East Anglia, where others ruled by bloodline. Ivar ruled by blood. He sat on thrones not built by inheritance, but carved by fire and steel. No politics, no mercy, only obedience or annihilation. He wasn't just feared in battle, he was feared in peace. Because peace was just the silence before the axe fell. Number 8, he never let weakness define him. In Viking culture, your strength was your worth. Ivar had no working legs, and yet he led warriors across seas, commanded from chariots, fought beside giants. They bled. He bled more. They feared death. He invited it. He didn't just defy the odds, he shattered them. His body was broken, but his will, unbreakable. Number 9, his death was just the beginning. They say he died in battle. They say he laughed before the final blow. They say his rage was so great, his body tore itself apart. And some say if you whisper his name after dark, the wind will whisper back. Because Ivar didn't just leave behind bones, he left behind a curse, one that still walks in the stories, one that still stirs when the storm comes. Number 10. He built a dynasty of terror. Ivar didn't just dominate a lifetime, he infected bloodlines. The Ivarids carried his legacy, carried his fury, his brilliance, his brutality. They ruled, they raided, they endured. He didn't just leave a mark on history, he left a scar that never healed. He wasn't just a Viking, he was fear in human form, a cripple who crushed kings, a mind that outplayed empires, a shadow darker than the gods could bear. This was Ivar the Boneless, and his legend, it's still bleeding.